Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Our first story today takes us to a small pest control company where the boss's generosity wasn't costing him a dime, it was draining his employees' paychecks. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. The price-cut boss versus the petty tech. I work in a service industry, pest control, that pays me a percentage of what my customers pay as an extra paycheck on top of my normal hourly rate paychecks. Example, I go to a customer whose bill is $100, I get $20. If I'm out sick that day and a coworker goes, they get it instead. Each month, the grand total is added up, a certain dollar value is removed for company baseline, and of what remains, I get 20%. It's more complex than this, but that's all that's needed for the story. My boss has a bad habit of giving discounts to friends of his, usually below the company minimums that have been set for me and my coworkers if we were to sell the work ourselves. The problem is that despite these people not being my friends, I still got assigned to do the work, and now that customer has paid less, so I get paid less. Example, $80 bill now pays me $16. I brought up to them multiple times over the years that if they want their friends to pay less, fine, but in the computer, I should get my cut as if it was based on the full current price that the market demands. Each time, my boss's response has been to pull his phone out for his calculator and play off the $4 difference, or whatever it is, sometimes a lot more, as insubstantial in the grand scheme of my total paycheck. They've so far proven incapable of understanding how disrespectful this is to me. If it's such a meaningless and small amount, then why is it so hard to pay it to me who actually did the labor? Never mind that not only do these stack up against me, but we're not a very financially successful company and can't afford the discounts. It's a matter of principle. Anyway, they're effectively pinching pennies out of my paycheck, and it's all justified under the current system because longtime customers also have similarly low prices. So it's just supposed to be considered one of those. Nothing illegal is happening with my pay, strictly speaking, just an absence of respect and morals. This just happened again despite recent discussions, and I'm starting to snap. The revenge. I fill up my work truck usually every 3 days, so combined with all the other employees, naturally the gasoline bill is a regular talking point about trying to keep low. I've always had a strong work ethic and tried to do my part for efficiency even before the first time I heard the gas speech in a meeting. If I had personal errands, which we're allowed to do within reason, I would wait days or sometimes weeks until I was driving in that area. I was one of the first to go above and beyond and reorganize my route so that I was in one neighborhood per day, all to save gas. No longer. My work truck is GPS tracked, and if they ever stop being lazy enough to start checking, they're going to notice a sudden loss of efficiency. If they ask, I'm going to pull out my calculator and suggest it's a negligible difference they should just get over. Oh, hell yeah. I get why you're furious. Your boss quietly shrinks your pay so his buddies get freebies, then shrugs like the missing cash is fairy dust? That's disrespectful. And it's exactly the kind of petty, slow theft that corrodes a workplace. Good news, you don't have to snap or sabotage equipment to fix it. You can attack this smarter. Document, demand, and escalate, and keep your moral high ground while actually winning money back. Or at least forcing a policy change. And our second story. Spoiled HOA Karen's son. I bought the house in May. Nothing fancy, just a clean 2-story place with a small backyard pool and a big old maple that threw shade over the porch like it had been there since the dinosaurs. The neighborhood was one of those gated suburban developments where every lawn looks like it's been ironed and half the residents treat curb appeal like a religion. It worked for me. I do long shifts, I like quiet, and after years in law enforcement, you appreciate coming home to something boring. I was the new guy on the block. New guys get noticed fast in places like this. I wasn't trying to make friends or start drama. I wanted to unpack, buy a grill, and figure out why the previous owner thought floral wallpaper in a downstairs bathroom was a good idea. I knew there was an HOA. The closing packet came with a thick stack of rules and tiny font, the usual stuff. Approved paint colors, approved curtain colors, approved ways to breathe without offending anyone's community aesthetics. I signed because this is America, and you either play HOA roulette or you buy land in the middle of nowhere and pray your neighbors don't run a junkyard. What I didn't realize yet was that our HOA president was a woman named Karen. Yes, that Karen. On paper, she was President, Maple Ridge HOA. In reality, she was a mix of PTA tyrant, camp counselor who never stopped bossing kids around, and someone who genuinely believed the neighborhood existed for her personal comfort. Her house was 2 doors down from mine. I hadn't met her yet and honestly didn't care to do it quickly. The first week was quiet. Amazon boxes, Home Depot runs, more trips to Target than I'm proud of. A couple neighbors did the polite, "Hi, welcome" drive-bys. I kept it friendly and low-key. Life was good. Then the gate happened. Maple Ridge has a main entrance with a barrier arm and an electronic access system. When I bought the place, my realtor said, "Your name gets entered automatically. The previous owner already submitted the transfer." That sounded like a lie, but on day 1, I punched the code and the gate opened. Day 2, same thing. Day 3, still fine. I started to believe this system actually worked. And then on night 4, I came home around 7. I grabbed a gas station hot dog for dinner because my kitchen was still a war zone of cardboard boxes. I rolled up to the gate, entered the code, access denied. Red light, little camera blinking at me like I just tried to rob Fort Knox. I entered it again, denied. Third time, denied. Behind me, some guy in a Toyota pulled up and honked. I waved him around, he punched his code, the gate opened right away, and he slid through like it was nothing. So I pulled off to the side and called the security booth. The guard sounded tired but polite. "Give me a second. I'm not seeing your address in the list. Are you sure you live here?" "I'm sure. House 214, just moved in." "Huh. We only get access lists from the HOA. If they haven't confirmed you, I can't add you myself. Stay by the gate. I'll come out." He walked over a minute later, checked my driver's license, and I showed him the closing paperwork I keep in my glove box like a security blanket. He shrugged. "Yeah, you're legit. I'll open it manually for tonight, but you need to contact the HOA. If you're not in the system tomorrow, this will happen again." I said thanks and drove in, already feeling that familiar pressure behind my eyes that usually means someone's about to do something stupid on purpose. Next morning, I called the HOA office. The secretary had the voice of someone who hasn't smiled at work since 2009. "Karen's busy. You can email." Fine, I emailed, short and clean. "Hi, I'm the new owner of 214. My gate access is not working. Please add my information to the system." Silence. A day passes, then 2. I come home each evening, get denied, wait for a guard to manually open the barrier like I'm some random visitor. I email again, silence. By day 4 of this nonsense, I pulled up after work, got denied again, and sat there waiting for the guard. That's when I heard someone shouting from the sidewalk, "Hey, you! Stop right there!" I turned and saw a kid, maybe 17, tall, skinny, expensive sneakers, and he was holding a phone on one of those little stabilizer rigs like a wannabe influencer. He had that half smirk, half snarl look that says he spent his whole life being told he's special. "Who the hell are you?" he yelled, already recording. "What do you think you're doing here?" I glanced around out of habit. Keys, wallet, phone. I'm used to people trying to play sheriff in rich neighborhoods, but this level of confidence was new. "I live here," I said, calm. "House 214, I'm waiting on security because my access hasn't been added yet." He laughed, loud enough to perform for an audience that didn't exist. "Yeah, you live here." He shoved the phone closer. "Listen, you don't understand where you are. This is private property. My mom is the HOA president. She decides who belongs here. And you," he looked me up and down like he was inspecting a stray dog, "don't belong here." A car behind me had stopped to watch. He noticed. The kid got louder. "I'm calling security and they're going to throw you out. You're on video right now. You realize what happens when you trespass? You get arrested." He was waiting for me to freak out, argue, or beg. I just sighed. I was exhausted, and on top of everything, I was hungry. "Okay," I said, "call them." He blinked. He didn't like that I wasn't playing my assigned role in his little movie. "Who are you even calling?" he snapped. I pulled out my phone and called a buddy from my precinct. We'd worked patrol together for years. He knows my "I'm knee-deep in dumbness" tone. "Hey, Rico," I said, "you on shift?" "Yeah, what's up?" "You got 10 minutes to swing by Maple Ridge, Pine Gate entrance? I got a situation. Kid trying to play enforcement. Bring a partner." He didn't even ask questions, just a chuckle. "Copy that, 10 minutes. I hung up. The kid was still recording, still puffing his chest. "Who is that?" he demanded. "Real security," I said. "They'll be here soon." That set him off again, like I'd insulted his whole bloodline. "You have no idea who you're messing with," he said. "My dad is a very important businessman. Around here, this neighborhood basically belongs to us. He said that like it was a normal sentence, like gravity, like the sky is blue. I didn't even get mad. Mostly I just felt sorry for him. Nobody says stuff like that unless they've been trained to. Security never made it out because 9 minutes later, 2 patrol cars rolled up. No lights, no sirens, just 2 real cops stepping out in uniform. That's a look HOA wannabes don't love. It's like watching someone's fantasy collapse in real time. Rico got out first, gave me a quick nod, then looked at the kid who was still holding the phone like a weapon. "Evening," Rico said, official and calm. "What's going on here?" The kid didn't miss a beat. "This guy broke in," he blurted. "He's trespassing. I called security. You need to arrest him." Rico opened his tablet, tapped a couple times. "Yeah, no, we know him. That's Officer Blank from our department. He owns house 214. We got the paperwork. You, on the other hand, what are you doing right now? You're in a bad spot." The kid froze. He looked like someone had just told him Santa wasn't real. "What? No, that's not possible. Your mom doesn't get to decide who lives here," said Jay, Rico's partner, dead flat. "And you definitely don't get to decide. You're trying to block lawful access to someone's property, and you're making a public accusation with no cause. That's called self-help and harassment. If he wants to push it, you could be looking at charges." The kid's face went pale. Not embarrassed pale, full, "oh crap, the world is bigger than mom" pale. His hand shook, but he didn't lower the phone. Pride's a hell of a drug. "But she said," he stammered, "she said outsiders don't get in here." "And your mom's teaching you garbage," Rico said, not yelling, just stating a fact. "And you're done with this right now." The kid muttered something and walked back toward his house, still recording like the video would magically turn into a win later. It wouldn't. If anything, it was proof he'd tried to pull HOA police nonsense on a real property owner. 2 neighbors had come out to look. I caught bits of whispering. "That's Karen's boy." "No way. He's a cop?" Rico turned to me. "Gate still denying you?" "Yup, week straight. HOA won't respond." Rico looked toward Karen's house and smirked. "Yeah, I don't think they're going to ignore you much longer. File a complaint, I'll back you up, and save whatever video pops up. This could get spicy." They left. I walked in on foot because the gate still wouldn't open, but security had orders to let me through manually until it was fixed. I figured that was the end of it. It wasn't. The next afternoon, I was unloading groceries when a sweet older woman from down the street wandered over. Miss Caroline, mid-70s maybe, tiny, sharp as a tack, eyes that had seen every flavor of neighborhood drama. "I heard about last night," she said softly. "Yeah," I sighed, "little performance at the gate." She nodded and lowered her voice. "Don't take it personally, honey. Karen's been telling that boy for years that this neighborhood belongs to them. His father has money donated to half the landscaping, and she's been power tripping ever since. It got worse when she became HOA president. You're not the first person she forgot to add to the gate if they didn't come kiss the ring." That bridged the gap in my head. It wasn't a clerical error. It wasn't a delay. It was a punishment because I didn't show up at her door with a fruit basket and worship in my eyes. "What about the kid's dad?" I asked. "Oh, he's different," she said. "Army man, strict, but he travels a lot for business. Doesn't see what they do when he's away." I just nodded because I knew how this usually goes. The strict parent finds out and the whole house shakes. 2 days later, the gate suddenly opened for me like nothing had ever happened. Imagine that. A week of denial, then magically fixed right after 2 real patrol cars showed up. That same evening, someone rang my doorbell. I opened up and found a man standing there, early 50s, tall, lean, close-cropped hair, that no-nonsense military posture you don't fake, leather jacket, tired but steady eyes. "You the new owner of 214, he asked. "Yeah." He exhaled like he'd been holding it in all day. "I'm Mark, the kid from the gate, my son." I stepped outside, already knowing why he was here. "I saw the video," he said. "Neighbors filled in the rest. I'm sorry, that behavior's unacceptable." This wasn't some polite HOA apology. He was genuinely pissed. Not at me, at what he'd found out. "I'm not holding a grudge against him," I told him, but he acted like he had authority over people he doesn't. Mark's jaw tightened. He acts like that because that's what he's been taught. He didn't need to say by whom. He said it anyway, blunt. "My wife's been out of control. I didn't see it because I'm gone half the time, but I see what it's turned into now, and I'm fixing it." He pulled out his phone right there, dialed and put it on speaker. "Pack your stuff," he said into the phone. "Tomorrow you're leaving for the academy." I heard the kids start protesting and crying. Mark didn't flinch. "Not a week, not a try it out, full program. You need discipline, boundaries, and a reality check." The kid whined louder. Mark listened in silence, then dropped the hammer. "You embarrassed this family. Conversation's over." Click. He put the phone away and looked at me like he felt he owed me context. "Military Academy for teens," he said. "They'll straighten him out." Because apparently I didn't. I didn't really know what to say. He'd already done more than most parents in this situation. "One more thing," he added. "HOA?" He said HOA the same way a doctor says tumor. "She's resigning tonight. I'm not letting her run this place like a dictatorship anymore." I blinked. That's probably healthy for everyone. He gave me a short nod and left. The next morning, it looked like a scene out of a reality show. Mark's SUV in the driveway, suitcases, the kid standing there with red eyes and a totally different posture. No swagger, no "this is ours." Karen was beside them having a full-body meltdown. I couldn't hear the words through the windows, but I didn't need to. I met enough Karens to read the subtitles. "You can't do this. I'm in charge. They need me. This is my neighborhood." An hour later, an email hit every resident's inbox. "Dear members of Maple Ridge HOA, we are informing you that President Karen has resigned effective immediately. The board will appoint an interim president pending election. Thank you." No explanations, no spin, just a clean stop. By evening, Mrs. Carolyn was walking her dog again and gave me a little smile that said she'd waited years for this. "Well," she said, "looks like someone finally reminded her this isn't her kingdom." Over the next few weeks, the neighborhood felt normal. No petty fines for dumb stuff, no HOA patrols hovering, no gate drama. People waved at each other without scanning for Karen's approval. And the gate? It opened every time. I saw a photo of the kid later on a neighbor's Facebook, short haircut, uniform, standing in a line of other teenagers who looked equally humbled. Caption, "First month at academy, learning discipline." Maybe he grows up and cringes when he remembers screaming at a stranger like a little landlord. Maybe not. But at least somebody finally pulled the plug on the "everything belongs to us" fantasy. Karen, from what I hear, spent a while telling anyone who'd listen that she was forced out illegally and that it was a conspiracy by newcomers. But without the office, her voice was just noise in the background. Annoying, sure, but easy to close the door on. The funniest part? I never raised my voice. Didn't need a neighborhood war, didn't need a petition drive. I just stayed calm, let them show exactly who they were, and then brought in reality. HOA power trips, corporate greed, spoiled princes, they all survive in the dark. The minute someone flips the light on, they shrink fast. Gotta love dumb people with fake authority, right? The HOA imagined that this was their private territory. Reality imagined otherwise. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.